Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? We got our normal splash reports on Sunday morning, and one of them involved Sean Payton. So last week, if you were here on the show, we sifted through an ESPN.com piece where they made 10 bold predictions for next year. And I gave it credibility because the 10 predictions from the previous year, keep in mind, these were predictions made anonymously by other coaches and executives in the NFL. They were given anonymity, and they were able to make bold predictions. 8 of the 10 from the prior year came true, and some of them were like Jared Goff being traded to Detroit, Jimmy Garoppolo being retained in San Francisco, and them still drafting a quarterback. The Patriots drafting a quarterback in round 1. Carson Wentz going to the Colts. Specific things that they nailed. So I gave it credibility. Well, one of them was a well-known coach is going to leave for TV. And they listed Sean McVay, Pete Carroll, and Sean Payton. So we talked about this a week ago. Well, gasoline got poured on that fire by Ian Rappaport. Here you go.
The New Orleans Saints, there's some intrigue here regarding their head coaching situation. Sean Payton, their coach since forever, obviously one of the best coaches, the best coach in franchise history, and someone who has taken that thing to unreal heights, has not yet committed to return for the 2022 season. I've talked to several people very close to him. They simply don't know what he is going to do. He's been approached by at least one network. TV seems to be a possibility, as is just walking away for a year, recharging, and trying to come back again in 2023. That is another one we will be watching.
Meanwhile, Ian Rappaport had the report that maybe Sean Payton, you heard it there, could leave, recharge, and return. TV is a possibility. Our friend Sean Fazan from Fox 8 in New Orleans caught up today with Gayle Benson. I'm not sure where this was in New Orleans, but he tweeted the video. I'll warn you, the audio is a little hard to hear. There's a lot of ambient sound, but give a listen. This is what Gayle Benson said today.
No, Sean, we don't know. Who knows? We'll find out soon enough, I guess. I don't think any of us know, but he'll let us know soon enough.
So she said it was hard to hear again, but she said with Sean, who really knows, but he'll let us know soon enough, was basically what she said. So she sort of confirmed that, she did confirm that his future is uncertain at this point. She didn't stamp out the possibility that Sean Payton's time in New Orleans could be done. I know for years this has been a pretty consistent media war that's been waged about Sean Payton and might he leave. And there have been reports about Sean Payton and the Bears and the Cowboys and the Giants, and it seems like every year there's another one. And I've held pretty firm on this, that Sean Payton's not leaving New Orleans for another head coaching job. And the reason is because there's only 32 of these. Very seldom do you actually have a better opportunity to move as a head coach. And if that schism happens, it's because you don't have alignment with maybe ownership or with the general manager, roles, responsibilities. Sean has that. He has that in New Orleans. This is this franchise, this structure. It's him and it's Mickey, and Mrs. Benson gives them carte blanche to build this how they want. She gives them all the support that they need, and they've had that uniformity for 15 years now, 16 years now. So there's no better situation for which he would leave, is the point. I mean, this is his team. It's his franchise. It's his roster. It's his structure. It's all what he has built there for as long as he's been in New Orleans. But the point that we've brought up time and again is that Sean Payton is a Bill Parcells disciple. And maybe it's just, having had Mike Detillier on the show every Thursday for more than a decade and listening to him just hammer this into my brain for the last decade. And he's right that Sean Payton, as a Bill Parcells disciple, like Bill, was never going to be a coaching lifer. It's not going to be a guy that coaches into his 70s. It's certainly not without a break. And if you remember, Parcells left the Giants after winning a couple of Super Bowls in the early 90s and went and did TV on NBC for a couple of years and then got back in New England, retired again, then came back with Dallas. But I guess the point is, I wouldn't be surprised at some point if Sean Payton, now 58 years old, left New Orleans for a TV gig or left New Orleans for a front office job. This report that's coming out now actually adds a little more clarity to what is out there. Front Office Sports is reporting that Fox is targeting Sean Payton to succeed Troy Aikman in the booth if Aikman leaves for Amazon. Remember, Amazon has the Thursday night football package starting next season. And with all the stupid money that Amazon could throw around, they would very likely be able to best the $8 million a year that Troy Aikman's making with Fox. Now, could Aikman do both? Maybe, if he wanted to. Or double down and get some legit cash, for sure. Or maybe he leaves Fox to go to Amazon. It's at least a possibility for which Fox is preparing. Now, Sean Payton isn't their only option, according to this report. They also mention that Greg Olson or Aqib Talib could be elevated, or they could target Phillip Rivers, who some believe could be the next Tony Romo in the booth. I mean, everyone's trying to find that. So those possibilities are out there. Sean Payton is making $9 million a year in New Orleans, so Fox could certainly be competitive with pay, and you would remove the day-to-day rigors of being an NFL head coach. And it's not just this report here from Front Office Sports. There are others. Eric Weinberger, former executive producer at NFL Network, now a senior producer at Fox, says Fox has to go big if they need to replace Troy. I'm not sure Sean would be as bombastic as John Gruden, but I think Sean would be more opinionated than Gruden. Another source said, quote, Payton's an offensive genius. The NFL is all about offense now. Besides, he's young enough to do TV for a few years, recharge his batteries, then go back into coaching if he wanted to. So you're starting to hear this not just from an isolated anonymous source. You're hearing it from so many places that there's legitimacy, that Fox is pursuing Sean Payton, and he's going to have a decision to make, and he hasn't made that decision. That much is clear as of right now. And, by the way, Fox also, if you remember this, Fox offered Sean Payton a one-year TV deal in 2012 when he was out for a year with Bountygate. Fox pursued him then. So, remember, Fox has the NFC package. So, Sean Payton has done TV meetings with production crews for Fox for 15 years now. So, there's a lot of parallels there and a lot of confidence and comfort level. A couple of things. It makes sense why the timing could be right for Sean Payton. Remember, he's 58. You're going through this major turnover right now with Drew Brees having left a year ago and then going through this season with all of the injuries and just the giant lift it was to get this team above 500. And now you go into this offseason with even more uncertainty at quarterback and with other key free agents. Sean Payton's also remarried now. Maybe taking a TV gig would require less time as being a day-to-day NFL head coach. I mentioned Bill Parcells, not a coaching lifer. We've always made that assumption about Sean, that he wasn't going to coach into his 70s. He was going to find a way to exit stage left and do something else and maybe jump in at another point. We talked about the money. Remember Tony Romo? Tony Romo signed a 10-year, $17.5 million per year deal with CBS. Tony Romo's making $17.5 to do TV on CBS. The money is very real in these rights deals, especially with the NFL signing their new rights deal, their new TV deal. You're talking about even more astronomical prices and numbers. So that would make a lot of sense. He can financially not change his lifestyle at all, take time away to rest, recharge. I'm not pushing Sean Payton into the television. I would love it if he stayed in New Orleans. But I think if you're just sitting there rolling your eyes saying, oh, this is just another splash report, there's a lot of reason to believe that it's legitimate. And if it is legitimate, the question turns to who is next. And listen, the most obvious answer is Dennis Allen. Because the incredible part of what the Saints have built under Sean Payton is culture, which you don't always see in the NFL, where you have this continuity, where guys in the locker room genuinely like each other and they want to play together, and the coaching staff is sort of symbiotic, and you have that in New Orleans. And with very little turnover, you could elevate Dennis Allen. Pete Carmichael could remain your OC. You could maybe promote from within at defensive coordinator. I don't know, but you would maintain so much of the fabric upon which this organization has been built over the last 2 decades if you retain Dennis Allen. But timing is important because Dennis Allen is being pursued now. He's interviewing for the Chicago Bears head coaching job and may very well be pursued for others. I don't know if that's the direction the Saints would go, but it would make an awful lot of sense. So Sean Payton, you heard Gail Benson say it, he'll let them know in time, hopefully sooner than later, but hopefully a lot sooner, because with every passing day, you have coaching candidates being interviewed and jobs being filled, and the Saints need to get on that. You got free agency looming in a little more than a month from right now, and you have the whole pre-draft process. So they're going to have to get all this done and settled in place to be able to go into their offseason, to be able to start to build this roster for 2022 and beyond. As it develops, we'll keep you posted, but it certainly looks legitimate that Fox is pursuing Sean Payton for a TV gig. We'll keep you posted. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.